Hi and welcome. In today's video I'll be showing you how Misutaaa is holding down B on Mirage. In the last month, Misutaaa is putting up huge numbers on the CT side of Mirage, with a 1.35 rating, a 1.52 KD and an ADR of around 93. I used the map tool from Leetify to dig a bit deeper into his stats, and as you can see, there's no area on the B spot where he has an KD below 1. But let's now head into the demos and see how he actually plays the B side. Misutaaa has 3 different ways to start off the round. The first and most common one is throwing a Molotov, following it up with a deep nade afterwards, and then eventually smoking apps afterwards. As you can see, he has a set lineup for the Molotov, and he throws a nade almost every time from the same position to get it deep behind the Molotov. In case any Ts would be waiting there, they will get a lot of damage. In some rounds Misutaaa doesn't throw the smoke. He then just throws a deep Molotov, follows it up with a nade, and then goes on to jump spot with the smoke in his hand. In the second way, Misutaaa is only throwing a smoke to deny the Ts any early vision into B apps. Now, if you want to replicate the smoke, you have to be careful, as you don't want to throw it in a pistol round or in a round where the Ts are likely to rush B, because this smoke doesn't really stop the rush. A Molotov would be better in this case. Misutaa's third way of starting off the round is aggression. He has 2 ways of this aggression. The first way is run onto van and jump into apps, while he has a mate throwing the previously highlighted smoke for him, so he can post up on the left side of it without a T spotting him. If you want to replicate this, you have to keep in mind that it doesn't make sense to go aggressive if you have a full belt of utility. As you can see in Misutaa's case, he has none, because from the spot Misutaaa is in at the moment, he can't really use his utility once he gets spotted by the Ts. In the second way of aggression, Misutaaa gets boosted into B apps early at the start of the round. If any T would have pushed up into B apps, they would be really surprised by the fast timing of Misutaaa and wouldn't be ready for him at all. Therefore, Misutaaa should have had an easy kill. In this round, no T is pushing B apps. Therefore, Misutaaa can clear out B apps and take an aggressive stance there. Because of that, his teammates can concentrate their attention towards A. There's also a fourth way for Misutaaa to start off the round. In these rounds, he's boosting up shocks or Saibu with the AWP into apps. When he boosts up his AWPing mate, he's responsible for short. But since you're here to learn something about how Misutaaa is holding B and not short, I won't cover it. Let's now take a look at some of the angles Misutaaa is playing when he's defending B. A real common angle Misutaaa plays is this one next to the apartment store. You can also use this angle when your mate is jump spotting as a fake, so the mate takes off the attention from the angle and the Ts won't be ready for it. But what are the cons and pros of this angle? On the good side, this is a position where you almost every time get at least 1 kill. From this position you can get easily some multi-kills, like you can see in Misutaa's case, although he only gets 1 kill but deals heavily damage to the other 2, and it's a really hard angle to flash for the T side. On the bad side, it's an angle really easy to Molotov you off, and if you get Molotov you can't fall back that easily, and it is impossible for you to reposition after the first kill or contact. Another angle Misutaaa likes to play is this one close to the box on B side. With this angle you can spot any Ts walking out of apps through the door, and you hear every T jumping out of window. The pros of this angle are nobody will expect you there, and therefore you should have guaranteed 1 kill. The cons of this angle are you can get swarmed really easily when they execute B, as you can only concentrate yourself on one angle, either the door or the window, and therefore it's really hard to get multiple kills from this angle. The third angle I want to show you is any angle from backside. With the angle from backside you have a nice overlook over the complete situation, and you can see players running out to the right or the left. The pros of this angle are you can hide really well from the Ts or the flashbangs coming in and peek whenever you want it. You can reposition yourself after each fight and come up with a new angle, so the Ts don't know where you're at the moment. The cons of this angle are you might get overwhelmed and you have really late info on the B hits. Another angle I want to talk about is this one from the corner of the bench position. This angle is really nice to play if you're in a 2v1 situation or if there aren't many Ts alive. The pros of this angle are, the position is often overlooked and therefore you almost have one guaranteed kill, and also it is a nice spot to use trigger discipline from, because if they don't check you and 4 guys run by you, you can all kill them from behind. The cons of this angle are, the angle is flashed by every common T flash and you also have really late info about any B hits. Another angle that is often overlooked is this angle from short, so it should be also really easy to get always one kill from this position. Additionally to that, it is easy to fall back behind the pillar and just be a nuisance for the T side, so you can buy some times for your CT mates to rotate. The cons on the other side are, it is really easy to flash and you have pretty late info on any B hits. The last position I want to talk about is the position behind bench. The pros for this angle are, it is easy to hide behind it and peek out whenever you want, so you might surprise the Ts with a peek. It is also really hard to flash for the Ts and it gives you nice cover to play around, so whenever the enemies have contact on yourself, you can just hide behind it, peek from another angle and surprise them again. The cons for this position are, it is really common and often checked or even molotoved sometimes, and it is really hard from this angle to keep an eye on all of the Ts jumping out of window. And last but not least, I want to touch on how Misutaaa plays against an eco or an force spy and how he plays the force spy himself. In this eco against Big, he plays from the box angle from onside, because he wants to use the close range advantage of the MP9 as good as possible. And as you can see in Xrageon's case, he walks out and isn't ready at all for the close peek of Misutaaa. In this eco against OG, Misutaaa doesn't have a SMG, he has a rifle. Therefore, he uses his long range advantage with playing from when. This is a little bit risky against the pistol round, because there could be a guy with a deagle on the other side just one digging you. In this case, Valde doesn't have a deagle and therefore he has no threat killing Misutaaa in this position. Against force spies, Misutaaa also plays weapon dependent. As you can see in this case against Big, where he has a rifle, he likes to play far away from the apps from backside, so he can use his long range advantage against the pistols and the Mag-10. If the Ts would kill him, they have a harder time recovering his weapon. As you can see in this case, he uses the possibility to reposition after every fight really well and therefore nearly gets an ace. When he has an SMG against the force spy, he likes to play close in apps, as you can see in this case against OG. Especially against rifles, you want to play as close as possible with your SMGs, as the rifle have a huge advantage on long range. In this case, nobody comes Misutaa's way. When Misutaaa is in the force by himself, he likes to go for a deagle, armor and a smoke. But he doesn't throw out a smoke grenade at the start of the round. He opts for a jump spot, and whenever he spots an enemy, he then drops the smoke on site so he can play around it. It makes really sense to drop the smoke on site and play around it rather than just throw it into apps, because when the terrorists are already committed to a rush, they don't care about any smokes and will just run through it. So it would be a wasted smoke on your side. When you drop it on site, you can play nicely around it like Misutaaa does in this case. If you enjoyed this video, go check out my channel in the description down below, leave a like on the video, subscribe to both me and Leetify. As usual, thanks for watching and see you soon.